we had such I guess, a disjointed preseason, and Trev's system is, I guess, a little more complex than the average system you play in, and it does take a bit of time to learn. So, it's with a disjointed preseason, had limited time to be able to get on the floor and get some, I guess, some game reps under my belt. So yeah, definitely starting to feel a little better each game. And it was obviously it was nice to be able to come out with the kind of player he is. He draws so much attention from other teams, and obviously that he deserves that much attention. Otherwise, he's going to hurt you. So I think that's what makes Bryce the player he is. He's super unselfish, and he's happy to give the ball up when he's double teamed. And obviously we're able to make plays when we had the ball last night, and he was able to pick his spots when he did have the ball, and he was able to feed off that, and vice versa. We're able to feed off him and the attention that he does draw. To be honest, I've spoke with the coaches a lot, and I don't really feel too much pressure. I feel like it was just, I work pretty hard on the areas that I find that I'm pretty good at in my game. And I think it was just a matter of time to where I sort of really started to feel comfortable and find my spots in the system to where I was going to be able to get the shots where I could, feel most comfortable. And again, coming back to the system being a little more complex took a little extra time, but hopefully, I can continue to build from last night and, see those areas and see what I did well, but also there was a few things there which I could have done a little better. So I'll see them on film and hopefully be able to make those improvements. Almost what happened in Bendigo against Melbourne. I think our default was kind of when something wasn't going our way, or we, mucked up an offensive play. I think that was sort of our default. We sort of threw the ball to Bryce, and everyone just stood and just watched him and just hoped he could make a play. Whereas, and as you said, that can happen because he does so many things so well. But yeah, I think that's a big area for us is we got to continue to play. Trev's big on 5 guys playing as one. And I think last night was a prime example of when we get to our spots and the ball moves like it does, and we're able to convert on the end of it. I think that really goes to show the sort of team we can be. We played both sides of the ball really well last night, and continue. I think it's a massive step in the right direction for us, and we got to continue to build that and continue to play, as Trev says, 5 players playing as one. It's the amount of attention that Bryce draws is, it's, playing against it for so many years, you don't actually notice that until you play on the same team as him, the way they have to double him, the way they have to show an on-ball screens, the way they have to send 2 defenders at him. I guess as another player playing alongside him now, those opportunities are always going to come your way because someone's going to be open on the backside. They can't guard all 5 of us if they're sending 2 guys to Bryce. So yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely going to be one of our strengths is, obviously Bryce is going to have his nights where he goes and has, 40 points. That's just the kind of player he is. So to be able to have that, also be able to have other guys step up like we did last night, I think it's going to be massive in our success this season. Wherever we go, there's some sort of new COVID case. But to be honest, I haven't read too much into it. We're just, I guess at this stage, we're going to prepare for Sunday and I guess just expect the unexpected. And that's all we can do right now. And as of, as you said, the next few minutes, something's going to come out about it. But as of right now, we had video this morning, we had a review, and, we're just preparing for the next few days as per normal. But, obviously that may not be the case. Potentially going back into lockdown to, everyone's away from families, and, it's extremely hard. And the unknown is almost the worst thing. You don't unknown as to what's going to happen. As I said, we thought we were all fine here in Melbourne, about to start the hub on the 20th, and now there's been more cases in the last few days. So it is extremely hard, and I guess we've just got to be able to roll with the punches. We've got to be able to stick together as a group and be able to stay tight. But at the same time, it's hard when, we obviously took a massive step forward last night as a group, what we wanted to be able to achieve on the floor, and then obviously potentially now not being able to train, let alone play, is, I think, that's that rhythm and those relationships you build on the floor, and you get them from just playing games. And I guess to have that taken away again, it does make it hard. To be able to continue to play games is probably the best case scenario. Obviously we want to continue to keep our rhythm and continue moving forward as a group, even though the season is very disjointed and unknown as to what's going to happen next. I think it's still important that we're able to get on the floor. Jess and I did 2 weeks when we first got to Perth, which was 5 months ago now, and then we had obviously being stuck in Brisbane for a few days. Was being stuck in the hotel there for not being able to train for 2 or 3 days was tough, and then obviously then we came back to Perth and had to do our 2-week lockdown there, which was that was. I mean, in saying that though, we're able to train and we're still able to, I suppose, in a way that was getting out of the house. You weren't stuck in the same four walls, which made it a little easier, if anything, I suppose. But now obviously with maybe, a potential another lockdown starting sometime in the next few days, it's a lot, and it's something that, it's just, I guess it's all just unknown, and you're just unsure what's going to be happening. I was talking to Scott Roth, the assistant coach, and he's done over half his time in Australia, he's done it in some sort of quarantine. So it's definitely tough. I feel like mentally right now, I'm, obviously being away from family is extremely hard, especially when we had to pack our bags and leave at the drop of a hat because of the lockdown that was starting in Perth. We obviously had planned to be leaving a week later, and so you can sort of, you're able to prepare for, a longer period of time away. But it is tough, and it is hard, especially. And then in saying that, when we're obviously away from family, we're potentially locked in a motel room or a hotel room again for another few days. So it is hard, and we've got to be able to stick together and be able to bounce off each other. We've obviously got the whole level 5 here to ourselves, so it's not like we not being able to interact with other people, or we're still able to hang out and at least communicate with other people, which is a bonus. I guess his record sort of speaks for itself. Having 5 championships under his belt, that doesn't come easy, and he's obviously got the recipe for success, and he knows what he needs to be able to put that recipe into play, I suppose. And I feel like Trev is exactly the same as back then. It doesn't matter if you're the MVP, as Norda said last night, is the MVP or you're the DP. Everyone gets coached. Everyone's treated exactly the same. Everyone gets called out exactly the same. And I think that's what makes Trev extremely, I guess, successful, is he holds everyone accountable. And if you're not playing the right way, then you sit next to him until you are. We're obviously always got each other's backs, but at the same time, we're all professional athletes, and that's professional sport. You go through ups and downs. You're not going to be at the peak of your game every single second of every single game. So, everyone goes through little slumps like that. And, if everyone knows that if everyone's going through a little slump, we've got each other's back, and we're able to talk and able to pick each other up. And, that's the mentality here, is next man up. If someone's not playing well, next man's up, and next man's able to fill that role. And I think that's the beauty of our depth, is we've got 13 guys on the road right now, and 13 guys are able to play. So I feel like that's the mentality we've got right now. It's a mentality we've got to keep, is, if someone's having an off night, which does happen, no one's perfect, and everyone has those nights, the next man up can obviously hopefully pick up the slack, and we can continue on with the game. But I think it's very, very minimal, and I think it won't last very long. The way we obviously played them twice in Perth, and the first game we're obviously able to get up by, I think it was 13 or 15, and they made a lot of changes for game 2, and obviously came away with the win by 1. So, credit to those guys. But again, last night, obviously we played really well and took a massive step in the right direction, and we got to expect, Southeast to come out and make those changes again. They've got obviously very good coaching staff, very talented group over there. So they're not going to go down wondering, I suppose. They're going to make changes. They're going to come out, be on the front foot. Sort of expect a few more guys there to be a little more aggressive, a little more on the front foot. And I think we got to be able to, and then also on top of that, we've got to be able to make adjustments as well. We can't just settle for what, obviously we had a really good win last night. We can't just sort of sit back and be really happy with ourselves. We got to continue to improve. And we watched video this morning, had a really good video session. Obviously it was quite positive, and always is after a win, and such a big win like that. But it's obviously, we did a lot of things well in that game, and we're able to come away with a big win. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that we still can improve on, being such a new group. And that's stuff we looked at and stuff we've addressed. And we got to be able to make adjustments, because Phoenix are going to come back on Sunday with a full head of steam, and they're going to be out there and hungry for a win. For the situation that it is in, we are in with obviously the lockdown now that's been announced, it's coming up. I think living situation is a pretty good situation. They're very well looked after. We've got, as I said before, we've got a whole level to ourselves, so we're able to venture out in the hallway and go and mingle in the other guys' rooms. So we're not just locked into one, studio, single bedroom apartment or whatever it is. So yeah, living situation, it could be a lot worse, but I think, yeah, we're in a pretty good situation.